What's going on, guys? It's Matt from Adventures, and this is episode 19 in our 1984 Series 3 Land Rover camper conversion. Now, Lily has had a lot of very expensive changes since the last time we met, which is when we did the paint job a few months ago. In fact, she's been at the mechanic for pretty much all this time, thanks again to Bernard from Sandman Garage, and he's been overhauling the whole underside. What we've done is we've got a whole new set of parabolic leaf springs with new shocks, because ours were completely shot. Aside from that, we've also gone ahead and changed the rear axle completely, and then changed the differential in the front to give us a much better ratio, which is geared more towards speed than torque. Of course, we still have that low range gearbox, which is very good for all sorts of crawling, pulling, etc. So we have now the capability to do pretty much anything from off-road to on-road highway cruising. Those axles were sandblasted and then coated in Raptor, and then we also sandblasted our rims while we were there. That was a purely aesthetic choice. They were a little bit rusty. We sandblasted them and made them pure white. But then we did a few modifications on the inside too. Like, the most important thing is that we installed the smart car seats, which are so much more comfortable than the ones we had before. Now, our old ones were tearing and, of course, completely not adjustable, so they weren't the best thing to use. Now we have two smart car seats that are adjustable, and we put the cubby box in the middle instead of having that third seat, which makes a massive difference to comfort and usability. We didn't want to lose that space that we have storage under the passenger seat, so Bernard custom built us a little bit of a locking unit so we can store our valuables in there, which is also really useful. The only problem we have right now is the engine. Now, I told you we installed the Isuzu 2.8 turbo diesel, and as an engine, it's exactly what we need. It's got the power, the turbo kicks in, and speed is there without a problem. Still have that pulling power, but the issue is that the engine has internal trouble. There's a lot of blow-by, which is causing internal pressure to build up. We did install a catch can system to stop that extra pressure from building up and allowing the oil to go back into the system, letting the excess pressure out. But that wasn't enough. Still, when we go on a long drive, the dipstick is being shot out at high pressure out of its place, and oil is being vented out of the dipstick hole. So at the moment we have a little bit of a predicament. What are we going to do? Are we going to A, just take out and rebuild the engine? B, try to find a new engine that's exactly the same so it can fit in the same mountings? Or C, change all the work we've done to adapt our Land Rover to fit an Isuzu engine, remove all of that and go back for an original Land Rover engine, or just change to something else entirely. At the moment, I'm kind of leaning towards doing a rebuild, because that means we're going to have an engine that we know works. Now, I know a rebuild is expensive, and especially on an engine that's not so rare or expensive like the Isuzu, it might cost us more than it's worth. But I guess that, or buying a brand new engine, is the only way to be really guaranteed that things are as they should be. Because of course, when you buy an engine, everyone says it's a closed box, you don't know what's inside, and you can be up for any number of surprises. Alright, that's enough talking now. Let's jump right into a real world test. Because we can say that we've improved things, but we wouldn't know until we've actually tried Lily out on some real tough mud and clay, like the clay slopes of Selmoon, which is where we're heading right now. as you can tell, we probably weren't the most hardcore vehicle on the track, especially considering the guys with us were a kitted out Defender 110 and even a Mitsubishi that has much bigger mud terrain tires than we have. I think that's what really let us down, because our engine and our power delivery were all pretty great. Actually, the responsiveness I felt was amazing, and we even did some really sketchy bits which we didn't catch on camera because it was just really focusing on getting down without tipping over. But the other guys managed to make it up much easier than we did. Now, what were the factors that affected it? First of all, I think it's going to be our tires. Our tires are much skinnier and they're much older than what the other guys have. They also have diff locks, which again is something we don't have. And on the bit going down, they have proper brakes. They have disc brakes when we have drum brakes. So there is a little bit of disparity between their vehicles and ours, but it doesn't mean that Lily didn't handle it like a champ. With just a little bit more patience and care, we managed to find the right line and work our way up slowly. We needed some spotting and just that little bit of knowledge of where is the right way to go and how to do it. But in the end, we did it. So I do think that Lily is capable of quite a lot more than she was when we originally got her. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one when we're heading off to Gozo to check just how comfortable and reliable it is when Lily's out on a 4-day camping expedition. See you then.